This day 1478 of the Arukh HaShulchan Yomi. We're doing your day Simon Reish and Ches, Sif Daled through Yud. For those who asked on the Beis Yosef, I guess, well, we'll see which part of the Beis Yosef they're asking on. Many people are arguing on the Rosh, who says that the real achas ain't tfura, a feeling maximo ain't a korimbo. Okay, that doesn't give us MS Chasavil Pasuk Sholem. Even says in one pasuk, a complete pasuk, korimbo, Rakisona Uriah ain't korimbo, but it's missing a parchment page. You don't read on it. Can't read it. I ain't sham. Ramban Mechai ben Chesed Emtzav Apil Os Achas Makeh. Ramban differentiates between something missing in the middle, or even one letter isn't a problem. Lame Sof at the end, Rakison Yuriya Makeh, where only the lack of entire parchment page is an impediment. But Ram Mefarish the body Mitzvah Ksiva Setor Lokim Avshi Chisar Os Achas. The man says if you didn't fulfill the Mitzvah Ksiva Sefer Torah, even if you're missing one letter of a Tzibur Korenbo, but in the Tzibur you do read Afil B'Chisor Arbe, even if it's missing a lot, Ad Sheach Sterei Shlema, until you're missing an entire parchment page. But Rasha Ritva B'Chilim Shem Gitin Sham Titzu Fanim Achim Ayin Sham Mila Kapanim Lo Kohen Abbasum Leisul Rosh V'Echsosim Today Chidah. I guess going on the fact that Russia to be missing one letter, it's no good. I guess I've seen that possibly, but it's missing the area. But they're going on the extreme scenario. It's missing letters, even letters. Years ago, when I was a rabbi in a shul in Chicago, they had a Sefer Torah which the person who had it written up never actually had it. Turns out he never had it sealed and never actually had the last letter of Sefer Torah filled out. So the letters were there in outline, but not completely filled out. So obviously this would be very much an afkamina for such a Sefer Torah. It's not exactly the same thing because the letters are there, but they're only in outline. They're not in ink. Ches, and there's Hey. There's a Hey Aleph and Hey Beis here. Evidently, there was some sort of, in the original Tfus, there was two Sif Heys. So we have Sif Hey Aleph and Sif Hey Beis. So Sif Hey Aleph is like this. And here's Datin Nira, Datin Rabbeinu Beis Yosef, the Lachos Beis Yosef, Vaikon Abasi, Logo Pika Bika Dina, not arguing in the basic halacha, but as far as Senes Logic dictates came in the cinema, Tfir Markeves. No, evidently, actually, they're extrapolating from those other Rishonim that even if it's not sewn, it should still be okay. And Arukh HaShulchan is saying, no, it's clear that if it's not sewn, it's not okay. Since the sewn is the impediment, because Mali Shen Fuin Klau, Zu, what's the difference if they're not sewn at all, they want to each other, or if none of them are sewn together, or one of them is not sewn together, final analysis, this parchment page is no connection to Sefer Torah. I'm saying these rabbis wrote different answers. It's not because they don't hold this halacha. Their language, the way they understood missing a Yuriya is not going on a tefira. You can't have a name or Sefer Torah because they said Sefer Torah which you didn't sew one Yuriya as possible. Something else. But also the ancient there's no difference whether the Yuriya is not written at all. The Sefer Torah, if it's written and not connected by Story Sefer Torah, it's no good. That's the primary halacha. Now we have Sif Hey, B, Hey base. On Chazal Megillah, Chazal says so fun. They don't sew the Yuriyos from the end to from the beginning to the end. With the note that you shouldn't rip. When one pulls one way, the other that way. And you should leave a little bit on at the beginning without sewing, and a little bit at the end. In other words, you don't start at the very edge of the parchment on the top, the very edge of parchment on the bottom. Start a little bit off the margin. But he says, by the time you get to writing on the page, So then you have to start sewing. Because the mitzvah lo akev tzad impediment. From mitchilos, so if you went from the very top of the page to the very bottom of the page, kosher, it's okay. Very sparkable at first. There's no set number for the stitches. But the stitches are supposed to be on the outside, not on the inside. Change the noise of it's not nice to say if they're on the inside. It includes that cryptic Yerushalmi. So yesterday that you have to stitch it like that stitch. And that's how, I guess, now they see it again. You have to stitch it like that stitcher, an expert stitcher. Somebody who's an expert sewer. That's the derech of the sewers, with the expert stitchers, to sew on the outside. However, if you did stitch the outside, inside, ain't a impediment, but you have it after the fact, and you're allowed to read in it. You have to remove these stitches, I guess over time. You should move them and stitch them the right way. The way you stitch near, you should overlap the end of one on the over the other. That way the stitching is better. Already saw that back in Reishan Gimel and Sham. Those are not sure. In Mutar, was one who's not sure. Tied for beginning shall get a nosha. They use the sinews from the sciatic nerve. It's the Bnei Yoina. Well, the daiti logo I mean avails the trefus. Why not? It's no worse than any avails the trefus. It's from the species which is mutar you. And if you're going to say, well, get the other parts of the animal, if they're shechted, you could eat. Even shechted can't eat. According maybe have no time. Any sinew has no taste. They're not edible. You only need to be a mina mutter ficho. Dakim kishem kigirin gemurim. And also the thin intestines are also good for sewing, like actual gut. That's what it is, gut. Never learned that before. Okay, gut. That's the same like sinews. Usually, evidently argues. It's not his argument is not compelling. Logria mi tolidoris. There's no worse than tolidoris. Miskor Chaim himself siman lamed base. Those also argue on tolidoris, whatever they are. Learn here, it's not clear. The Vadai Tovio Sergide Shor learn here, it's not clear. Period. Vadai Tovio Sergide Shor. It's best to use the sinews of an ox. The call me again, I guess it's stronger. No other sinews. Avo Medina, but according to the strict letter of law, if Shalis was so, Chominate Firos, shall or Behemoth's Mayo, Torah. It's not possible to parcel any type of sewing with any type of kosher animal hide. Now which it says use gidin, it's the normal way that you they express yourself. That's not normally expressive. Normally you would do it, but it's not necessary. And even the sinews of a kosher bird you can't pass. I mean, so you're saying which is mutter to you. And you're offering the fear, just not so good to use for sewing. But Chaim back in Chaim, he explained more. Zayin, Yosim Sefer Torah Shnei Amurim. You put in the Sefer Torah two sticks. Echad Rosh and Echad Sof, one at the beginning, one at the end. Shad Gilyon Barosh of the Sof, and you should leave open parchment space at the beginning and end, and wrap that on the sticks, and sew them with sinews. Between the stick and the actual column, stay exposed 2 fingers breadth. It's a difficult situation. If you can't sew for some reason the sticks in with the sinews, if it was sewn with silk around the sticks, but you can use it. The connection to sticks, it doesn't say that has to be with sinews. Nevertheless, you should not use glue around the stick, because the glue gets dry and flakes and weakens on top of the sticks. Also, when you're able to get gidim, you also have to remove the silk and use the gidim instead. Avirios, but of course the parchment pages, im tofrim memeshi, if you use silk to sew them, also that's no good. But Yishno Kemudim, I feel Emuchabar and Klali reels show that the sticks, even they're not connected all to the parchment pages, and the Krochos Aleim, the parchment pages are wrapped around them. Kankin Korimbo, nuisance a little more here. Kankin Hain Korimbo, you also can't use it. Sorry, you can use it. Kankin Korimbo, Vainsa Lotia Cheres. It doesn't be sewn at all. You'll take another one. Avo Below Mudim Cloud, but no sticks at all, ain't Korimbo. You can't use it. You may Sefer Torah Cheres when there's no Sefer Torah. I was saying Sefer Torah Cheres, I guess you have an unfinished Sefer Torah, no I'd say Chaim yet. You don't cancel the Kriya on that account. According to read, then they fix it when they get the Atzei Chaim. That's a Rav and a Bnei Yonah. One Perek Lo Chashiv Chesar Munim B'Psul, the Rambam doesn't mention the lack of sticks as being a psul. Ches V'da, you should know Shorisi Gdol Echronim Arod, Sogel Gdol Echronim Arod, Shkos Gam Nayos Kshenifru B'Meshi. Even the parchment pages themselves, if they're sewn with silk coloring bow, you can read with it. It's called Ches Dogim Ravava. Tell us the Dibit Baal Shumas Adeshin, and look out from Shumas Adeshin. But Tamar Kra. I'm astonished, says the Arukh HaShulchan. How can you say this? So low is a local much to use Gidim, to use Mutar Lapicha, which is to use from an animal. It's a local much I've got Marim Chashal, a Parakud, Benim Sulin. The Ram also mentions if it's used silk, it's possible. Ain't sure. Shus Adeshin Braila Heftach. Shus Adeshin practice evidence the opposite direction. As the Shoshan is that way he writes there. Asher Sefer Torah Asher Yosef Furos Sefer Torah whose parchment pages are sewn. But Meshi with silk Yira the Pshikuli Yira the Pshita the Enik Sher. It's push. It's no good. Chankas of Rambam Sefer Truma. Rambam Sefer Truma like as well. Number Isti Chulit Furos Meshi. I saw Sefer Torah which are stitched with silk. But Karuba and Yosef. Maybe there was some special difficult situation. There's nobody knew how to fix the sinews for that purpose. Maybe it's anyway, they have a Sefer where the parchments were not worked lishma. I become a puzzle, even though it's puzzle. Come only crows. Nevertheless, you can read it. Mishum Eis Lasos Hashem Mefer Torah Secha. Very big Kiddush. Application Eis Lasos is not for Chazal. It's a time when we have to stretch the rules because otherwise your Torah will be desecrated. HarimKsam Kasam first the puzzle and Kasam. That's the quote from Shum. So look, you were explicit that it's puzzle. Becomes to explain those who read it that there's an Eis Lasos here. B'timali we draw an analogy to working in Lishma. Shagarim Moshe Apostle going says Apostle come according by nevertheless you can read them Mishum Eis Lasos. But by summation have the Einam some Kohen say we don't rely on the Kohen in this respect. But in Sham B'Chanami Kenu here too we don't rely on them. Have a Chalil Mashu Shumazeshin Yechshib B'Tves Meshi. But be as a mate, certainly you can't say that the Tumas Adeshin allowed you to sew with silk. Like Kaimelan, and that's we hold the myself. If you ain't Sefer Torah, even though no Sefer Torah Chas v'Sholom, because we're Chas v'Sholom to read Sefer Torah which is sewn with silk. LNK Rov Urea Begidin, unless most of the parchment pages sewn with sinew. Muta Mesh and Menards and silk. Those Efshar Dim Shas Afchak. Then you can allow Shas Afchak should die Beruba. It's enough to have a majority. K'moshis Bar B'Siyat Shema as we shall see. And Rakesh Filu Urea Achash Etful Kula Memeshi. But there's even one parchment page that's completely sewn with silk. Psul Garment. That's if it's completely possible. Test. Psul Zem first Bagar Megillah. It's expensive Megillah. Megillah Nikre Sefer Nikre Igeres. Megillah is called both a Sefer and a Igeres, a book and a letter. Nikre Sefer it's called Sefer She Torah Chute Pusha Psula. If you use linen string, it's possible. It's called the Gershim. If you put 3 strings of Gidin of sinew, it's as long as they are equal thirds. First, it's explicit. If you use linen, it's possible. My below Gidin Psul. In other words, if you don't use Gidin, it's no good. But you should know the nearly Migmar Zul Tzitzi for this Gemara that Gam She'en Shilat Firos Contrast to say, but even though there's no specific measure for the stitches, how many stitches you make in a parchment page. Most times, if it's less than 4 stitches, it's possible. Megillah Amud B'Shumni Crazy Gerets Kosher B'Shlosh. It says only because the Megillah is called a letter, so if it's 3 is sufficient. It can be male, so the Shazam from this automatically comes out. The Loy saw when he Crazy Gerets, it wasn't called Gerets, so he said Psula B'Shlosh, be possible 3. Now, say if no less than 4. But Arba Elo Raya Eno Maspik. And 4 we don't prove that it's no good, not sufficient. But you arbit 3 outside of the Kuba, but at least 4 is an impediment by Sefer Torah. The Gabit Tanai Shim Mitfir Rishon L'Shnei Kamo Reva Amud. It also has to be split in quarters from the first stitch to the second one, about a quarter of the Amud. The Chem Mishneh Shish to the second, third. Mishneh Shish to the third to the fourth. Minus the Mishlosh Tfilos in Megillah. And we learned out the ratio from the 3 Tfilos in Megillah. Shenzir Chazal Yosem Mishloshim, which Chazal required to be in even thirds. Compares Rashi and Shom. Like Rashi writes there. In Kate Hachinami, that's case here too. But Arbat Tfilos, when the 4 stitches, Sefer Torah, Tzich have to be also equidistant quarters. Milchatchila Bari Tzarech Harbei Tfilos. Milchatchila need a lot of stitches. In brackets says the Rambam, the Megillah Tzarech Test Tfilos. According to Rambam, evidently need 9 stitches by Megillah. But Sefer Torah Tzarech Hasara. So Sefer Torah has to be 1 more at least. Has to be 10. Yud Kasar Rebbe says that was in the brackets. Yud Kasar Rebbe says Steve Gimel. It says writes in Nika Rova Tfir Sheben Yuri really if most of the stitch between apartment page and apartment page came right Adaim Mechubaros B'Chamesh or Sheish Shvis, but there's still 5 or 6 stitches left Shachiyama which are firm. Kosher it's kosher Akal Shara. My Lashon Tamasha. This Lashon seems to indicate Nika Rov Arukh HaShulchan. It's the majority of the length of the parchment page was ripped. Is a minority. In that minority, there are 5 or 6 stitches. So that's what it says in source halacha. But it's 5 or 6 lavdafka. It's not specific. Maybe it should still be permanently sewn together. And obviously 2 or 3 is not. So it still won't be sustained. The entire thing will rip. The Hemshah the Gam Arba side, but it's possible 4 is also enough. Those who argue say the Bein Shei Rova Rechirim to Ferris, most of the parchment page has been sewn. Majority as ripped. Hava the Kinikra Kula, so the entire thing is ripped. There's no decisive determination. There are ways to learn this way, that way. Well, the Maisa about it certainly should be Makar and the Maisa. Come the other side. Never says it seems to me. She says the Shabbos, it's Kriyas Torah, Ruba Kura. If you find the Shabbos and you come to lane, then most of it is ripped. By Mutam and Bechosik, the minority is strong. Lomi by Yimei and Sefer Torah Cheres goes on saying there's no other Sefer Torah. I feel yes Sefer Torah Cheres. But if there isn't a Sefer Torah, ain't Labazoisa. Don't degrade the Sefer Torah you took out by taking out another one. Muchal Yisrael Rabbeinu B'Shteisa, Shumas Sadeshet, Vashach Shemukuz HaKeser. Find all those Achronim because bought to read it as is. After Shabbos, after Shabbos immediately, you should fix it.